live, everybody! Finally, it's 9:38. We were supposed to go live at 9, but as always, I'm late. Hey, Griff. I feel weird saying your name because I know it's not your name, but I just feel weird calling you that. Griff. Okay. So, it's Tuesday night, and we've got a lot to talk about, but not a lot of time because I have to go out after this, which is like, I'm always late. Hey, Diacritical. We're waiting for Twitch to go live. We're live on Periscope and YouTube, and I'm here with my bangs. I still haven't taken like a real picture with them. Yeah, they're gonna grow out soon. We'll do like a little bun over here. And so I was late because I was swimming. And swimming, hey Steph, thank you for not going to sleep and joining us instead. I actually feel really honored. Like, it makes me feel really honored when I see people that I know and respect in real life, and I'm like, holy shit, they're actually watching my streams. Which is like, this is like my diary, and they're coming and watching it. And it's the coolest feeling ever. And so I was having some anxiety because I have a lot of anxiety usually, and swimming is like the one thing that makes it better. Whenever I either swimming or biking, but swimming is like the best. I can't come out of, like, I can't have finished a swim and not feeling good about it. Thank you for the compliment, Steph. Like, it means so much to me, you guys. You have no idea. Anyway, so I had a swim. It was really good, and there were a few things that I was thinking about on my way back from the pool. I was thinking about this saying that I heard from my friend like yesterday or the day before. It was, once something is on the table, it's always on the table. And it actually makes a lot of sense to me. It's really true. One second. You know what? I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this. All right. So it's a saying, when something is on the table, it's always on the table. So the way that I see it, it's like this in relationships, in all kinds of relationships. When you meet somebody, you have, hey Ron! Ron is on this live stream, Ron Coleman. I met Ron maybe a week ago in DC, and it was the coolest thing ever because I've been seeing this guy on Twitter for a while. So many people. I met Mark Dice. I met like a few people that I normally see on Twitter, and it's like my first time seeing them in real life. And it's cool. It's like seeing a character, because on Twitter people look like little characters with their little circle, like their like little avatar, and they just pop up in your feed, and you just. And Steph also. I met all of my close friends, actually, I've met on Twitter. Most of my close friends, most of them that I talk to a lot. So, anyway, speaking of things being on the table, so every time you start a relationship, like right at the beginning, like when you met the person, right away, you set the tone for that sets the tone for the relationship. So you meet the person, and they, let's say with love relationships, you meet a girl and a guy meet, and immediately they have like, they have a hookup. Immediately they get physical. And so you can't have, this is how I see it. You could disagree with me. And there are plenty of people who have great, meaningful relationships who get physical like right when they met, like super physical, and they're just all the way. But you can't go back from it. When I say that, I mean you can't like go all the way in the beginning and then like have like a normal relationship if you pull back. And you're like, what, you know, let's say you go all the way right away, first date, whatever. There are people who do it and are successful, end up together and whatever, but let's say you went all the way, and so you put it on the table, like, here, I'm willing to give this and this and this and this. And then you change your mind, you're like, oh no, you know, maybe I'm not willing to go all the way with this. Maybe maybe I wanted this to happen first before I went all the way. Or maybe I wanted something in return before I went all the way. And so you start to pull back, but then you sabotage the relationship. And then you can say, well, there are so many people who are not doing it at this point in the relationship. Why shouldn't I? And the reason why it's different for you now is because you already had it on the table. You already put it on the table. So now that you're pulling back, it's an action, it's a negative action. Instead of it being just a neutral action, it's a negative. So that's just one example of something being on the table and then you trying to take it off the table. In business and work, you go over to an employer and you say, hire me for $30,000. And the employer goes, okay, fine, I'll hire you for $30,000. And then you change your mind. You're like, hey, my friend Nick is getting paid $60,000 for the same work. I should be getting paid $60,000. And so then you go back to your employer and you say, pay me $60,000. Even if the employer was going to pay you $60,000 before he knew how much you paid, he's not going to pay you $60,000 now because the $30,000 is already on the table. You already introduced yourself as the kind of person who will get $30,000. You have already branded yourself as a $30,000 employee. So you can't take it off the table. They have in their mind, well, I could have gotten this. Why do I have to pay double now? So that's just another example. And then the reverse happens with an employer. An employer says, oh, and even if, by the way, even if you become the best employee on the planet and I don't know, their competitor takes you and whatever, it's still in their head, well, I could have gotten this for $30,000. So they're still not gonna, I mean, some people would, but normally it would have to be a huge, things would have to change around a lot in order for them to go for it for double the price. All right, with employers, from the employee side, okay. If an employer put on the table, I'm gonna pay you, if you only wanted to get paid $30,000, and the employer said he's gonna pay you $60,000, and you're like, oh wow, that's so much more than I wanted. And so you're like, great, I'm gonna get $60,000. This is an employer who's gonna pay me $60,000. And then the employer decides, actually no, 60 is too big. I want to pay $30,000. And so, or even lower, or even higher, I'm gonna pay $40,000 or $50,000. And then you, as the employee who was willing to go for $30,000, is like, no, I'm not taking it for $50,000. Well, what happened? You were willing to go for $30,000, and suddenly now You're not even willing to go for 50? What's wrong with you? The reason is because the employer put it on the table. Here, 60. And so in your mind, your brain is like, okay, this is a 60,000 employer. This is a 60K employer. So now I'm going to expect my 60,000 and no less. And even if some other like lesser good employer comes along with not such great deal and wants to pay 50, you might even go for that other one because this employer is paying you less than what you think they're worth. So you've already formed an impression of someone and you expect things from them, and it would take a lot for that to change. Even if the person that, with friendships, it's like this too. Your friend, you meet someone and they have shown, let's say, that they're willing to I'm just using this as an example because I saw it I was seeing it in a comedy skit. Kevin Hart, so funny. But they're willing to lie for you, okay? So this is like the best thing you could do for your friend is to lie for them. So you meet someone and they've shown straight from the start that they're gonna lie for you no matter what you do. They're willing to just like cover your ass no matter what happens. And so everything's good until one day your friend is like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I don't want to lie for you, like, we're friends and I love you, but I don't feel comfortable doing this anymore. This isn't me. This isn't who I want to be. And then, even if this is the only person on the planet who would have lied for you, even if nobody else would ever do that in a million years, and this is the only person who would be willing to lie, who has even, like, lied for you in any way, you still wouldn't be happy with that person. Like, you still would possibly have beef with that friend. You might even pull away from that friend a little bit. It's like, because you already have in your mind, this is a friend that will lie for me. So if this friend won't lie for me, then this isn't my friend. Even though nobody else in the world would do that for you. But you've already built an expectation around this person. It would be really hard for this to change unless maybe, you somehow have known each other for so many years and eventually you grow together and you're kind of forced to be in the same world. But it's really hard for that to happen. So basically, first impressions and setting expectations 101. Once it's on the table, it's always on the table. Okay, so I love you people so much. I can't even tell you. The real Lee says, I asked for a big raise, got it, then employer said I expected all of this. I'm like, oh no. LOL. Yeah, so here's another thing about asking for a raise. It's like, if you go in as a $30,000 employee, right? Some other guy went in as like a $150,000. I've actually seen, like, I'm not using bullshit examples. This is actually places where I've worked. Not now, not where I work now. PR is great, but in the past, like in media, where I've worked, like I've seen people get paid $30K doing the same exact thing as like the person, the same table down, getting paid like $150 or $125, like 6 figures, okay? And because the person getting paid 6 figures walks in and is like, this is how much I'm worth, I won't go any less. And then the person who's getting paid $30K is like, okay, you can pay me $30K, and I will work really hard, and I will get promotions. I will work for it. I will get to the 6 figures. You really think that if you start off as a $30K employee, you're going to go up to 6 figures? The most you'll go up is like, okay, maybe next year you'll have 35 or 40K. 35 or 40, and then the next year maybe 35, 45 or 50. And then like and people, like, that's if your employee is amazing and gives you a promotion every single year. That's like if you have a really great employer, right? So like, no matter how high you go, you're still not gonna get so high. Your best bet is going somewhere else and setting your bar really high. And then from there, even if they go lower, you're still gonna be higher. You're still gonna be way higher. So Paul Nye says, you don't earn what you're worth. You earn what you negotiate. So shoot high. The worst that can happen is they say no. I agree. It's such a, like, I hate to say boomer because everybody says it, but like, it is a boomer idea. I mean, it's such a boomer idea to think that you have to work hard in order to get what you want. Not necessarily. I mean, you have to work hard. Everybody has to work hard anyway. But you just have to want it. You have to, because there are plenty of people who are with the same work or less getting paid way more. Why should they get paid more for doing the same thing? Because they come in, and there's value in that. By the way, like, there's value when you come in and you're confident in your own abilities as a friend, as someone in a relationship. People say like, oh, they have like, you're so humble. You don't realize how much you're worth. You're worth so much more than you know. You can do so much than you let on. No, you can't. You know why? Because part of the worth lies in you realizing it. Part of the worth lies in you seeing self-worth in yourself. I need a moderator so bad. Where is Patrick? So I feel like that's what it is. People who don't have self-worth sabotage things. Like, you sabotage your relation, and that's not helping anyone. No one's gonna be like, "Aw, so nice. You're so humble. You're not so full of yourself. That's so great. I just, I love it. It's okay that you abandoned, me and the children and our entire family and left me with the bills. It's okay. You're just so humble, and you don't, you really don't know how amazing and, worthy you are. You just don't know it. So great. No one's gonna say that! If you don't have self-worth, if you don't see yourself as worthy, then you're not worthy. That's how it works. Part of your worth lies in you seeing yourself as worthy. So, like, this whole bullshit of, you deserve it. You just have to realize it. No, you don't. If you don't realize that you deserve it, then you don't deserve it, because people who don't realize that they deserve it, everybody deserves it. Everybody deserves everything. You deserve whatever you think you deserve. You really, like, I'm not talking about people who are delusional. I'm talking about your sense of self-worth translates into things that are worthy. If you see yourself as worthy, you will stick it out in a relationship because you trust yourself. And so you're going to be there for that person no matter what, because you trust that you can be there for that person no matter what. It's like a cycle. And then the more you're there with that person no matter what, then you trust yourself more, and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. Anyway, that's not what we came here to talk about. What we came here to talk about is my balls and how you need to wax them. The truth is, I didn't even read up on this story. So let's put that on the back burner. You guys Google it and then tell me what happened. From what I know, it's some like, this is just like a glance at Twitter. Some guy expected. Okay. Let me read up on it so I don't say something super shitty and then people lose their shit. So a few things happened today. First of all, Culture, Cultture. I sometimes talk about them. My friend Daniel, my really, really, really close and dear friend Daniel Bostic, he is one of the people who runs Culture, and it's a media outlet. They do like news. I mean, their whole thing is pop culture, which I really love, and so that's why, they've taken clips from this live stream. They've taken clips. They took one last night and they posted it on Instagram, and they're very, like, the thing I love about Culture is that they will talk about anything, and they'll do it from any perspective, and they will talk and will feature anybody. Doesn't matter what your politics are, and you could be crazy. That's why people are like, oh no, Culture is far right, because they will talk to anybody. Doesn't matter what your political views are. So the stupid people, like the stupid people in media who it's like the same as people calling CNN far right because they interviewed Richard Spencer. So, like, I mean, that was CNN's attempt to have different voices. So, and to understand different people. So Culture is like that too. They really try to talk to everybody, and they even like, I saw one of the people on Culture, not Daniel. I saw one of the people on Culture slamming this commentator, but then the same night they also featured that commentator in one of their posts, like, just featured their work. So they're the kind of place where they're not afraid of controversy. They're not afraid to, like, they don't have to agree with you on anything in order to love you or talk to you and stuff like that. Definitely has been the case with me. I've had so many I have disagreed with so many things that, the Culture, my friends who work with Culture, this and that, but they have no, for them, and it's like that with me too. I don't care what your politics are. I might disagree with you, and it might actually get heated, but at the end of the day, I don't define you by your politics or what your opinion at the current moment is, because opinions change all the time. And a year ago or 2 years ago, I had so many different opinions. So, like, you know what I mean? I think it's stupid to measure people based on their opinions and to choose whether to be friends with them based on their opinions. So Culture was banned from Twitter, and it makes me really upset because I think Culture was really needed. And whether or not you think Culture was needed, I think everybody should think that censorship is not needed, because it's really a slippery slope. I mean, if you look at Culture's homepage, they really didn't have anything offensive or crazy or right-leaning or this and that. Like, I mean, their stuff it's mostly Culture. They're very pro, like, LGBT rights and this and that. I don't know, like, maybe I'm, like, not paying attention, but I didn't see, like, controversial shit on Culture. I didn't see a lot of it. I mean, I've seen controversial people saying things, but I don't see them being controversial. You know what I mean? I just see them just sharing a lot of shit. So it makes me upset that they would get banned, because it means that, like, you know, it could happen to anybody. And it's also like, you know, because I've seen how hard Daniel has worked on it. I've seen how much, like, of his heart Daniel has put into it when he wasn't even making money from it. They weren't making money from culture. I mean, not that I know of. I mean, at least to start off with. I remember Daniel was putting, just because he loved it. I mean, and then it became a thing, and then it became like a legit media outlet. But Daniel had other things to do. It wasn't like he needed to make money from culture. He already had his own work that he was doing. He's really successful with, you know, his business. He does crisis communication. He's really successful. He's flying all over the country for his clients. And this was something that he did because he loved. And it pains me to see the way that they can just, like, with snap of a finger, they can just take away someone's hard work. And it feels so sudden. And people are like, well, you know, Twitter is not real life. YouTube is not real life. The internet is not real life. This is all made up. You know, why don't you just get over yourself and go and have a real life? Do something that matters. Go get a job. And it's like, first of all, people do make a living off of this. People make great livings off of this. Some people are extremely rich off of this, and I know many of them personally who make a lot of money just doing this silly little social media thing that you're making fun of. They make a lot of money doing it. So this is a legit thing. If it was nothing, then people wouldn't be making so much money off of it, and so many people wouldn't be here, and the entire elections wouldn't be affected by this. But it is. People do make a lot of money off of it, and social media is important. Social media is where people spend their time. I don't spend my time watching TV. I don't spend my time watching Fox News or CNN or MSNBC. The only reason I even watch those things is for work. That's literally the only reason I watch those, you know, for myself, I watch everything on the internet. I don't even own cable. Everything I watch is totally on the internet. My TV is connected to the internet. And I just watch a bunch of, like, shows, stream a bunch of shows. And then the rest of the time I spend on social media. Anyway, what I'm saying is social media does matter. And we are basically like slaves to these big tech companies, which is why I'm really excited that all these different outlets are opening up. Logan Paul yesterday, he mentioned TikTok. Did he mention TikTok? He mentioned different outlets. I think they mentioned TikTok. I don't know if he specifically said he was going on it, but he mentioned that in response to them talking about TikTok, he mentioned that it is really important for us to take advantage of these other social media outlets that are coming on, because there's gonna be more, and they're gonna be big. And just because right now Facebook is the big one, and Twitter is a big one, and YouTube is a big one, all these things, it doesn't mean that they will always be. And it's hard to imagine, but, you know, you already see Facebook is going down. It might take like 1,000,000 years, but Facebook is going down. TikTok, in the span of 2 years, TikTok went up to number 4 most downloaded app on the planet. TikTok was like making zero money. Do you know that? TikTok 4 years ago was making nothing. They weren't even getting downloaded. They were like a junk app that nobody cared about. Now TikTok, that was just in 2015. Now it's 2019. Now TikTok is the 4th most downloaded app on the planet. I think the first 3 are like YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Is that crazy? Everybody makes fun of me for posting these TikTok videos, by the way. And I really do it for fun. I'm not doing it with like an agenda. But I think that TikTok is going to be the new Vine, but like a successful one. Vine died. I think TikTok is going to be big. And it's already big, but there's going to be, the way that their model is, the way that people are already becoming big on TikTok, and people are already starting to sell their products on TikTok. They're starting to show their products. They're legit influencers being born on TikTok. It's very subtle. You have to spend a lot of time on it in order to see it, but it's happening. And I see myself as trying to maybe see what I can do on TikTok. I think it's really cool. Like, yeah. And then there is a bunch of these other media outlets like Minds. You know, I met Bill Ottman. He's one of the founders of Minds, minds.com. It's kind of like Twitter, actually. Parlay is another one. Minds is like a blockchain run. It's like a blockchain version of Twitter, and you can actually make money off of your tweets with Minds. That's like the cool thing about it, is that if you become big, they give you a certain number of tokens. It's called tokens, and then you can boost your posts using tokens, and then the more people like your posts, the more tokens you get, and then you can use them again so it's kind of like, it's a cycle, and you make money from it, and it's cool. And then Parlay, I don't know, Parlay is another one. It's, it's kind of like Twitter too. And these things, I mean, some of them are not going to be big, but some of them will be. So you might as well just be on all of them and see what happens. And especially if you've been banned from Twitter, there are other options. The problem is right now that 3 big tech companies basically own all of us, but I can see all these companies going down because nobody likes a tyrant. Everybody's going to try and escape a tyrant. So, yeah, that's how it is. So we'll see. We're going to see Culture, and Culture is on Telegram now. Telegram is another one of them. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Janice Harris is a girl who, she's maybe 15 or something. She's a young girl. Oh my God. I just saw a picture of Tulsi Gabbard with a flower thing. So Janice Harris is this girl who was walking she wanted to walk to the bus station in Chicago, to a bus stop, and a bunch of girls offered to walk her there. On the way there, something broke out, like some fight. Maybe they were teasing her and she wasn't responding well to it, but apparently, and there was a video taken, they get mad at her and they all start beating up on her, literally beating on her. And she's crying and screaming, and they continue beating her. And this is all taken on video, and then more videos come out. A girl tweeted about it this morning. She's like, yeah, this girl, and then now she's disappeared. We don't know where she is. So not only did these people, and that she's like got a mental disability, and since her mom died, she had a mental disability. She seems like a sweet girl if you go and check her Instagram page. She seems like a really nice, sweet girl. And they were beating up on her for the shits and giggles. They're all laughing and everybody's watching. They're like, haha, she didn't suck a guy's dick. Apparently I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, if they'll bet. But anyway, she didn't do what the guy wanted or something. And then, so they were like making fun of her and beating up on her. I don't know, it's all in the video. Go and watch the video. Janice Harris, Janise, and it's the hashtag Justice for Janice with an S. And you'll see like all these tweets about it. You'll see the videos. You'll see some of the apology videos from the girls, and the guys are like, no, we're sorry, I didn't mean it. From the girls, they're like crying and apologizing. From the guys, they're just being assholes. They're like, yeah, we were just, I don't get why you're all so mad. We were just saying this and that, and, she, like, the guys are always, but what I noticed with the Janice thing. And she's, by the way, she's still disappeared. They don't know where she is. We don't know where she is. People have all these speculations. Maybe she went to a friend's house and maybe she went to a friend's house and found, and she's just hiding there. Maybe someone has her and is just not saying anything. Maybe she's hiding someplace, waiting for this all to end. But we still don't know where she is. The crazy thing that I noticed is that every post that says something like, punish these people, and I think they should be punished, 100% they should be punished. But every post that is like, punish these people, gets like a ton of likes and retweets, shared engagements, a ton. But the posts actually updating the public, like the posts from the people who are her friends or her family, updating the public on where she is, what's happening, we talked to the police, this is happening, that's happening. People are not even engaging. It's like people don't actually care about her. They only care about finding a villain. And that's what I noticed is like all these hashtag justice for Janice, all these social media campaigns, they're just, there's no good in it. Everybody, it's a spectacle. Like, oh, let's help this girl. Nobody actually cares about justice for Janice. Everybody only cares about justice. Nobody actually cares about Janice. Because if they actually cared about Janice, they would be focusing on where's Janice. They would actually be interacting and being like waiting for every update that this family friend or family is giving about this girl. They're not. They don't care. All they care about is having a villain. Somebody to be like, yes, lock them up. Lock them up. That's all they care about. And that makes me sad. Thank you, Dove. Dove says mob mentality. I agree. Thank you, Jesus. I like these comments. Every so often I will like switch over because sometimes there's and I keep forgetting to get a moderator, but sometimes there will be someone in the comments with like just really negative comments and they're so distracting. And I'm just like, I know I shouldn't be distracted by this, but I stare at the comments and I read every single one. So like every time there's a really mean one and it's distracting, like I literally can't look at the comments. I just switch over because like it really affects me. Like I really care about what people think. It's crazy. But anyway, and by the way, like the nice thing about the people who watch this is that, and like I recognize your names, and I know that you've been watching this. I know that this has been going on for a while. Like you've been watching my stuff for a while, and the reason I know that is because the people who don't know that come on here and they're like, wow, this is like the shittiest thing ever. Why don't you have like a beginning music? Why does your stream keep going on and off? Why are you sitting in this weird soundproof room thing? Why don't you have a better camera? And so people will have all these complaints. But the people who've been with me for a while, they know that, wow, this is like the first time Pardes has ever done a podcast. And she actually is very illiterate when it comes to anything that has to do with anything podcast or technology related. But this is like a huge step up. So thank you. And so yeah, that's how I know. Chris says it's content, not bells and whistles. Oliver says the camera does suck. I really doubt it's an iPhone X like someone claimed. You know what? This is an iPhone X, but before this I had the iPhone 8 Plus and I was much happier with the iPhone 8 Plus. Much happier. Way clearer, better camera. Like everything is better. Also, it wouldn't run out of batteries so constantly. This one keeps running out of batteries. And it's the most annoying thing ever. Okay, finally, last topic we will go to is wax my balls. Okay. The reason why I actually did not research this topic. Wax my balls. So we're gonna look on Twitter. So this lady, is this a lady or a man? Jessica Yaniv. Jessica Yaniv is a man who became a lady, and blonde. If you look her up online, her name is Jessica. She is a man who Why am I forgetting all my words? I'm forgetting my words. But anyway, she's a lady now. So, BC Human Rights Tribunal. Okay, so this is a I'm basically looking for a good news article that describes what happened here. I can't find anything because everybody has so many opinions, and all I see is just op-eds and opinion articles. Ian Miles Chang. Ian is a editor at Human Events. He's the managing editor, I believe. So Ian says Jessica Yaniv was interviewed by Irish broadcaster Niall Boylan on the Wax My Balls human rights case. Yaniv told Boylan that women have no right to reject a trans person's demand to touch their scrotum. Yaniv hung up mid-interview. Okay, so apparently Jessica Yaniv wanted to get a wax because girls get waxes often. We get waxes down there sometimes, and you can go to any nail salon. Usually they'll do it. Usually nail salons do it. Girls will walk in and be like, can I get a wax? Brazilian, whatever. And so this Yaniv walks in and wants to get a wax, but Yaniv still has balls from when she was a man. So she still has the man package. And so she's like, "Can you wax my balls?" And they're like, "No." Canadian, okay, so let's see. This is National Review. The truth is I haven't even seen a lot of news articles on this. I just see this on social media, which is another case of how important social media is, because the only place where I'm seeing this being viral is social media. These news outlets are too afraid to publish something about it because they're more like official. So social media is basically just a conversation that's happening on the ground. According to National Review, a Canadian man is attempting to legally coerce women to wax his scrotum. Imagine this, it's 1990, feminist novelist, blah, 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 blah. This week, British Columbia's Human Rights Tribunal, a self-described quasi-judicial body created by the BC Human Rights Code, held hearings on whether or not female beauticians should be forced to handle male genitalia. The complainant, known until Wednesday under the alias JY, owing to a court gag order, is Jonathan/Jessica Yaniv, a self-identified transgender woman. So before she was Jessica, he was Jonathan. And Jonathan became Jessica. And Jessica went to a nail salon and said, "Can you wax my balls?" I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that. "Can you wax my balls?" Okay, that's it. Hamid says, gag order. Get it? That's so corny. Get it? No, I'm kidding. This is I understand why they don't want to write it about it in like news articles. So anyway, I've never at a nail, like I've seen men, because I go to nail salons sometimes. I love getting a pedicure. Like a treat to myself if I've done really well, and I don't normally do it. It's like maybe once every other month or something. I actually don't even remember the last time I did it. But anyway, I used to go a lot more often, but nail salons have men in them sometimes. Sometimes men go in there to get, not necessarily to get like, and sometimes men will, I mean, I see it all the time. Men will come in to get like a pedicure. It comes, they fix your nails and stuff. Maybe not nail polish, but they'll fix up your hands, your toes and fingers. You should have nice nails all the time. And I've never seen like, I don't know. Anyway. I can't imagine one of these ladies waxing a guy's balls. But I'm sure people do it. Like I don't even know. I actually have never even asked, to be honest. I've never asked, how do men do it? How do men, like, I've never asked a guy. I just never thought to. I don't know. It never came up with anybody. Do you wax your balls? Do you shave? Do you this, that? I don't know. But I can't imagine people go to like a nail salon to do it. Like women do. So they're describing this as like the bake my cake thing. Here's the thing, like if you believe in freedom, people getting to be whoever they want to be whoever you want, be with whoever you want, be whoever you want, be Jessica. If you want to be Jessica, be Jessica. But you can't do that and then say, well, everyone has to serve me, or else they should be disciplined by the state. They should be punished by the government. The government should take away freedom from other people to do business, to do whatever they want. The government should take freedom from other people in order to give me what I want. That's not cool. And if that's how it is, then like Jordy says in the comments, don't be whoever you want. If you don't believe in freedom, don't be whoever you want. If you believe in freedom, you believe people should be whoever they want, do whatever they want, be with whoever they want. And freedom, I'm not saying do whatever you want to people, but not wanting to give a service to somebody is not doing something bad to somebody. It's literally, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I feel comfortable like waxing a woman's vagina, but I don't feel comfortable waxing a man's balls. That's the normal standard for a lot of beauticians. So I think that's freedom, being able to say that. Being able to say what you are comfortable with or are not comfortable with doing in your workplace. You shouldn't be forced to do anything by the state or by your boss. But I mean, you can choose what boss to have, so there's freedom in that. But you can't be forced by the state. And if you are a person who's expecting freedom for trans people, for people who if you're a freedom-loving person, you believe that you should be whoever you want to be, expecting people to lose their freedoms for your personal whims is just very hypocritical and very selfish. So that's all I have to say about Yaniv wax my balls. You need to wax my balls. But I think most of it is also just a spectacle. I don't even think this is like a serious thing that's happening. Like, is this actually passing? They held hearings, but is it really a thing? Yaniv has filed 16 different complaints against aestheticians in the past years. In the past year, Yaniv argues that as a transgender woman, being denied services on account of her gender identity was discriminatory. As Jessica Yaniv explained on Twitter, this is not about waxing. This is about businesses and individuals using their religion and culture to refuse service to protected groups because they don't agree with it, or the person, and use that to legally discriminate contrary to the BC Human Rights Code and the CHRC. I don't know. Is it about religion or culture? I think it's just about, like, I don't know, maybe it is culture. I don't know a lot of girls who would be comfortable doing it. I've seen women, nurses, handle men's balls in the operating room when I was an operating room intern, but that was part of the job. Like, people knew they would be doing that when they went to nursing school. When they became a surgeon, they knew that they would be, like, working in an operating room, performing like hernia operations on men's balls. They knew that they would be doing that. When women go to beauty school, they don't go to beauty school thinking that they will have to wax men's genitalia. And there's, like Kevin B. Jones says, there's got to be someone woke enough to do it. There's always going to be someone who's willing to do it. So go and find those people. But anyway, it's getting late. Thank you for watching. Really, thank you guys for watching. It really means a lot to be able to come here and do this every night. And I'm excited about growing and making this better, and eventually making this my full-time thing. And so I have, like, you know, I have Patreon in the link. I really want to fix that up. But in the meantime, there's PayPal, and we're going to do a bunch of other things to try and make this like a real thing. More shows and more YouTube stuff. So stay tuned. See you tomorrow night. Subscribe. Like this video. And like on Twitch and Periscope.